So I've been here before the company actually started the commercial operations, and the setting up of the company, setting up the brand, setting up of the processes, everything from scratch. And mashallah say we've developed a successful organization in the past 2.5, 3 years now. What has happened over the past, let's say between 2 to 10 years, is that a lot of promises have been made by different organizations, different brands to our consumers, and they have not been fulfilled. So our consumer has become very skeptical of what any organization is trying to say. So there are trusted brands, and there are brands which say something and never deliver. So for example, if you ask any customer that here is a chance to win 100,000 rupees if you fill this coupon and you'll enter a lucky draw, his first answer would be, this ain't happening, you guys are lying. And what has happened is that our consumer in the Pakistani market has become very skeptical vis-a-vis. He is very upfront, offer driven. So from a marketer's point of view, if you see what has been happening in most of the advertising that we see on television nowadays, it's hardly any brand building. It's most of the time it's 5 paise mein आधा minute and 2 rupees off on the soap, something of that sort, and which shows that the consumers become really very skeptical about what you're trying to say, what you're not trying to say, and that the same thing goes for our industry also, which is the data broadband industry. And if the customer sees an offer, whether it's actually an offer or not, he starts getting inclined towards that, which makes it very difficult to build long-term brand association. It's all a series of short-term steps to get to the long-term objective. But of course, there are few givens in the industry. For example, in the data broadband industry, word of mouth counts a lot. So if I have gone and bought a PC from a certain vendor, and if a friend of mine asks me, I would always refer that guy if I've gotten a good service. And the same goes for our industry also. If you buy a QB internet connection, if you've had a good experience, you automatically start propagating that. So that is something that is learning for us and other organizations also in the same industry. What else? Plus, I think something that most of the marketers ignore in our segment is how to engage the customer. So it's very easy to say XYZ does this best, but can a customer really engage to that? And if the customer cannot engage to that, then the customer will never associate with that brand, which could get you short-term sales from offers, but long-term brand stickiness will never be there if you can not engage the customer. So I think so. One brand that has really went on and engaged the customer that I really can appreciate is Surf Excel with the campaign of Daag to Achhe Hain, and that does hit you at multiple levels, saying it gets the customer thinking, and it comes to a logical conclusion whereby you do what's best for your child. So there are not a lot of brand engagement activities that happen in our industry for that matter. Maximum you would find is a couple of pretty faces either singing or dancing or giving corny remarks, and that's about it. We spoke about word of mouth, we spoke about engaging the consumer. If you look at word of mouth, it's pretty simple to drive. You do a couple of promotions which are focused towards building word of mouth, incentivizing your existing base to talk about you. We've done that. You provide them with a brilliant experience. So people who propagate your account or your brand, you provide them with a brilliant experience. You provide them a brilliant experience, you give them an incentive, and they would go and speak about you day in, day out. So that's true on word of mouth. On engagement, I don't know if you've seen our new campaign. It's a very alternate way of advertising, whereby we are talking to the consumer in his language and asking him to do whatever he wants. So what we are kind of saying is, we let you live, we let you do whatever you want to do. We are just the enabler for you to do that. Plus, I don't know if you've seen our on-ground activation. So we do 2 sets of activations. One of them is a bit over the top, whereby we have these people sitting using our service on top of a sports car and driving around town, which to our target market of 15 to 24, that goes in really well. They can relate to the sports car, they can relate to somebody doing out of the box thing, sitting on top of these cars. These kids, they love fast rides, they love doing kind of wacko stuff. Yeah, so they can relate to that. Plus, then we have support whereby we start engaging with the customer on one-to-one level through activity, whereby we go and knock at people's doors and ask them to come join us at our store, at our floats and stuff, and there we do certain activities to again engage them with the brand. The way it works is you build awareness, and from awareness you build certain attributes which take your brand into the consideration set and purchase intent. We focus on building those attributes to start off with. Awareness is secondary. We know where our market resides, so we go and talk to that specific segment and we start engaging them rather than running an ad on TV. Running an ad on TV is going to give me massive awareness, but I might not be able to engage as well as one-to-one contact with the customer. So we don't advertise on TV, but we go and talk to the customer one-to-one a lot more. We believe that there is a lot of room for growth in the market. The market has been growing by over 120 and 30% for the past 4 years. We also believe that the computer penetration in this country is still very low, and on top of that, the educational literacy levels need to increase drastically for the ICT sector, especially when we're talking about the data broadband market, to grow. Now, what are we doing for that? As I said before, we're not the end, we're the means to the end. So we are the enablers who enable you to go and use the internet, go find out, go get knowledge, get entertainment, do whatever you want to do online. We believe that there is still a lot of gap in the top 5-6 markets within Pakistan, and the computer penetration, the internet penetration, then broadband penetration is still very low in these places, which is why we are here, operating here, propagating our service to different potential users within these 3, 4, 5 cities. And I think once these cities are close to saturation, we will go and tap into the 2nd, 3rd tier cities. But right now there is still a lot of gap in the top end market, not the top end markets, which is the top 5, 6 cities in Pakistan, and both from computer penetration, literacy, computer literacy, and internet penetration. If you look at the internet penetration numbers, I think it's just over 1.2 million users, not users, connections in Pakistan compared to 160 million, 170 million people. So it's still very low. It's still very low, and even in the urban centers, it's still very low. So I think there's a lot of growth potential in the market, but there is some work that needs to go into the drivers from the authorities' perspective to make sure that the country moves in the right direction in the ICT sector. One of the biggest drivers in our market is value for money and bringing cost-effective solution to the consumer. I think we are the only broadband player in Pakistan whereby who can offer a broadband connection for as low as 100 rupees. There's no one there in the market who can offer a broadband connection for as low as 100 rupees. So what we are doing is fine, we are not positioned towards value for money, we're positioned towards providing a quality service. But if you want to start using broadband, you can buy a connection and you can recharge for 100 rupees only. And value for money in our market, which is very skeptical and does not have a huge cash flow, which has huge cash flow problems. I think that is one of the biggest initiatives any broadband provider in Pakistan has ever taken, which is the first true prepaid broadband in Pakistan.